And you must not implement something on a large scale at once. You must feel your way. And we had thought of everything, so we thought. But the books were taken, put in the boxes in the schools in Tanzania, and all the books disappeared. Oh. They hadn't been destroyed, but we'd introduced this program for the bottom class, the youngest students at secondary 1, and the books were taken by the senior boys. They hadn't got any books. So they said, I want it. And so they circulated it among themselves. So the younger boys for whom we prepared it all never saw them. And it was realized that you just cannot do that. You have to make sure there is enough, that the schools are saturated with something for them to read before you try to do this. So you have to try out anything on a small scale. And of course, every school is different and has a different way of doing things, and you have to match your program to the individual school, let alone the individual country. Right, so, but nobody else, no other country, and the British Council neither, wanted any more major programs. So for the last, since 1997, I have simply dealt on an individual basis, answering people's questions, sending them materials, and having a very interesting correspondence across various parts of the world, and very happily visiting several parts of the world and giving courses. Extensive reading must be very attractive because I was invited to give a workshop in the Maldive Islands. Very hardship post, that was. And the other major one was in the Canary Islands. So it is there is scope for travel with extensive reading. And my chief work has been trying to write these survey reviews for the English Language Teaching Journal published by Oxford University Press. And that has involved collecting books from the publishers and establishing what may be a unique library of graded readers. I think we have got more or less everything of note from 1970. And I don't think that sort of breadth is available elsewhere. And I'm now working on my, certainly, my swan song has got to be ready. Philip Prowse is the man who beats one over the head to produce things on time. And he said November. But I go back and I've got about 300 of these books to read, because I have made a sort of a thing of not reviewing anything without having read it. And that is quite a demand. But I'll tell you how I began this. In Malaysia, of course, I was behind with reading. Well, I went for lunch to the same cafe for 4 years. 4 years. I went for 4 years and had the lovely roti canai and the delicious ayam limau and 1 or 2 readers. And that's how I caught up. And I don't have now these roti canai, nor do I have the ayam limau, the lemon drink, to support me. And I've also been involved in MSc supervision of students who want to look at it and explore extensive reading as their dissertation or a project. And I'm very pleased to say one of my students from this year actually came. She's from Tokyo, and she came. She was here yesterday. And another one, I don't know if she's gone home. There she is. Another of my students came from Taiwan and has found out, whereas she is working alone in isolation, now she knows that she is part of a very strong community. I don't know if I ought to stop, but what should I say about the future? Well, I told you that I'm continuing with the the review and maintaining this library. And I've put down here the ideal of, well, certainly continuing the support. I look forward to doing that. Development of more materials. I now know I needn't do that. You can do that, all of you. And well, I don't know. I did about 1,500 of the questions and answers. And Tom was speaking, wasn't he, saying it was hard work, and 40 questions that the ERF scheme is having. I think that I can stop doing that now. And I would like to do another version of my guide. Whether I will or not, I don't know. Certainly continuing the support for the, although I'm an honorary fellow, and it's nice to continue, and my honorary fellowship ought to come to an end next year. Maybe I will be able to continue having 1 or 2 students to keep me up to date. Because they do keep you up to date. Because what I said about the mother tongue yesterday actually was in response to the girl from Tokyo, who said that she was very concerned if she went back to introduce it in her school. One of the sections in the school that she had to think about were the Japanese teachers of Japanese, who were so concerned, who would not want to think that any time that they had wanted their students to be reading Japanese might be taken away. So that is why there needs to be this cooperation across the language departments. Well, I think I have disobeyed the timekeeper very much. Thank you all very, very much for coming.